It's a bit of a short week for us, and this was going to be a more traditional weird news episode, but so much has happened over the past 24 hours that it has once again morphed into what has become known as Weekly Weird News Dump.
Weird Dump, for short.
And there are so many things to get to, from bizarre animal stories to outrageous political scandals to conservatives getting mad at logos, and even some Epstein updates thrown in there. And we're just gonna do our best to get to all of it as quickly as possible. So let's immediately start things out with arguably the funniest and most blatantly corrupt story of the week. Current New York City Mayor Eric Adams having people who are straight up bribing journalists with cash hidden inside empty bags of potato chips.
Eric Adams? Straight-laced Eric Adams? No. The Eric Adams I know would never.
Well, in classic, only in New York style, the criminal mayor, who was previously accused of bribery, conspiracy, and wire fraud, has now had his doomed re-election campaign accused of bribery after an advisor and campaign volunteer literally tried to pass a bag filled with cash to a journalist for a local nonprofit news outlet called The City.
So yeah, this is so comically corrupt that everyone involved couldn't believe what had happened. I mean, just look at that photograph again. It's literally a wad of cash tucked into an envelope hidden inside a bag of potato chips that was handed directly from an Eric Adams campaign volunteer with ties to the mayor's city hall staff. And if you could believe it, this is just one of two separate cases involving bribery and corruption at the mayor's office in just the past week.
Nobody does it like New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bribing here.
If you can bribe them here.
You can bribe them anywhere.
Well, turns out maybe not. But back to the money hidden in the bag of potato chips. For this, we'll go straight to the source. Local outlet The City, whose reporter received the bribe and immediately alerted authorities.
Yeah.
A former top City Hall advisor and current campaign confidant to Mayor Eric Adams attempted to give money to a reporter from the city following a campaign event in Harlem Wednesday. The failed payoff, a wad of cash in a red envelope stuffed inside an opened bag of hers sour cream and onion ripple potato chips, was made by Winnie Greco, a longtime Adams ally who resigned last year from her position as the mayor's liaison to the Asian community after she was targeted in multiple investigations.
Oops.
She resurfaced recently as a consistent presence in his re-election campaign.
Sounds like someone you wouldn't necessarily want exposed to your campaign, but you know what?
Yeah.
She's got the spirit. Yes, she does.
And the part about the red envelope, I know some people in the audience, they're like, oh, that sounds familiar. And we'll get to that.
On Wednesday, City Hall reporter Katie Honan spotted Greco near the announcement of the opening of Adams' newest campaign office in Harlem. Greco later texted Honan after the event when she spotted her again and asked her to meet across the street from the campaign office next to a TD Bank. Greco and Honan walked to the Whole Foods next door. While inside the store, Greco handed Honan the open bag of chips with the top crumpled close. Honan, thinking it was an offer for a light snack,
Oh, don't mind if I do.
told Greco more than once she could not accept the chips. But Greco insisted that she keep them. The two parted ways. Before entering a nearby subway station, Honan opened the bag and discovered a red envelope inside stuffed with cash, at least one $100 bill and several $20 bills. The reporter then called Greco and told her she could not accept the money and asked if she was still nearby so she could give it back. Greco said she'd left the area.
Oh, sorry, I'm gone. I guess it's your money now.
Yeah.
Pretty generous of me, though, right?
In an interview later Wednesday, the city asked Greco what her intention was in handing money to the reporter. In response, she said she'd made a mistake and apologized over and over again.
It's just a big old oopsie.
Yeah, it was...
We've all done it.
Who among us hasn't handed an acquaintance, or not even an acquaintance, someone that is reporting on your candidate, a nondescript bag filled with cash?
So yeah, this is where it turns into an absurd attempt at a cover-up, because Greco, along with her attorney, started trying to explain this away as some kind of cultural confusion or misinterpretation. We got lost in translation here a little bit. I make a mistake, she said. Listen, I'm not gonna do the voice, but when she's saying, I believe this is an Asian woman.
Yes.
She's married to a white man, I'm assuming, but I'm assuming she is really laying it on thick while she is saying these things.
You're reading the quotations as they are written, as they were transcribed, without doing the accent.
I make a mistake. I'm so sorry. It's a culture thing. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad right now. I'm so sorry, honey. She then called the city back, advising that we call her attorney, Stephen Brill, and adding, can we forget about this? I try to be a good person. Please, please, please don't do in the news nothing about me. I just wanted to be her friend, Greco added. I just wanted to have one good friend. It's nothing.
What? You can't have a friend anymore? So many of these, like, bribery cases and other...
What? When did it become illegal to be nice to people?
I think we even mentioned this during the Eric Adams thing because of his relationship with Turkey. It was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't have a friend in the Turkish government.
I didn't know we were still in the 50s and it was illegal to have Turkish friends.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, I think that's exactly where this original joke came from.
And so, yeah, like, if you're Asian, especially if you're Chinese, you know what the red envelope is. I have a Chinese uncle, so it was always cool when I was a kid. We'd get, like, gifts from the rest of the relatives at Christmas, but he'd just hand over a fucking envelope with, like, a 20 in it.
Yeah.
That was, like, sick. And that's, like, a very common thing. You just give people money in envelopes as gifts, or as bribes, apparently.
Yeah, it works both ways.
Brill denied that his client's payment to the city reporter was nefarious in any way. I can see how this looks strange, Brill said.
You think?
But I assure you that Winnie's intent was purely innocent. In the Chinese culture, money is often given to others in a gesture of friendship and gratitude. Winnie is apologetic and embarrassed by any negative impression or confusion this may have caused.
It's a great excuse.
I'm sorry, I'm just extremely Chinese.
I don't against the law.
I don't have the most
Chinese?
basic understanding of American culture, nor like, political norms.
Yeah, especially
I'm just super fucking Chinese.
Especially when across the street from the opening of a campaign office, dealing with a local journalist from a local outlet who's covering the campaign of a guy who has been implicated in corruption and bribe scandals from a woman who has also been accused of corruption and bribe.
Now that you mention it.
Sure, all these things together.
Pretty egregious. It's kind of absurd.
Yeah, almost like there's a track record for this.
Now that you mention it, yes, but nothing was meant by it. We thought you seemed cool. We saw you from across the campaign event, and we really dug your vibe.
Yeah.
After the city informed the Adams campaign about the interaction with Greco, campaign spokesperson Todd Shapiro said Greco was immediately suspended from the campaign.
Oh, well, yeah, this looks really bad.
Oh, you're going to suspend a woman from your campaign just for being extremely Chinese?
Yeah, and being very nice.
That. Yeah, wow, racist.
Oh, is it against the law to have friends? I'm sorry.
It's against the law to be friendly. It's against the law to be Chinese and observe Chinese social customs. Eric Adams, you're in trouble either way.
Everyone involved in this is racist. The reporter, the lawyer, Eric Adams,
even the Chinese lady. She's, I feel, being racist in some way as well.
Mm-hmm. For their part, the Adams campaign explained that Greco was not authorized to do anything as an acting representative of the campaign, and certainly wasn't allowed to fucking bribe journalists. But you're probably all wondering, what does the potato chip company have to say about all this?
I was wondering.
Yeah, well, you're in luck because the city actually reached out to the brand for comment.
And I've only ever previously heard of this brand in an episode of The Office.
Oh, so it is a Northeastern brand.
Yeah, they had to special order a flavor of Her's chips from Quebec or something.
There you go. Bob Clark, vice president of marketing for Her Foods Incorporated, said the company was surprised to see its chips mentioned in the press. While we can't speak to the details of the story, he said, we can confirm that our sour cream and onion flavor is money.
It would have been bribery even without the red envelope inside.
Yeah, and a lot of the reactions online were like, I would have been more disappointed that I didn't get the chips.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Money?
Just money?
That tastes awful.
What about the delicious sour cream and onion Her's potato chips?
Now I gotta try them. In a follow-up interview with the New York Post, Greco continued trying to explain away this bribe, this time saying that it was actually a birthday gift and that this was all a conspiracy to somehow implicate her in a bribery scandal.
Anytime I'm giving someone a birthday gift, I hand it to them disguised in a bag of food.
Yeah.
And I don't tell them anything about the context.
And
I don't even mention a birthday.
Yeah.
And I say, take this. Yeah. And then I run away. I leave the scene. I leave the neighborhood. I leave the area.
And being the good person that Winnie Greco is, she got this gift, not even knowing that it was money inside of it, just thinking it was delicious sour cream and onion chips, and thought she'd pay it forward.
Listen, I just got a bag of chips at a bodega. So you maybe want to talk to them about what they're doing with the bags.
Yeah. In reality, this is like the pay it forward Starbucks thing where the person in front paid for the drink, the next person does. And that's not a bribe, is it? Someone just handed Greco these chips and she said, you know what? Not hungry today. Just going to pass these on to a journalist.
That would be a more clever way of doing some bribery. Like, let's say you're Eric Adams.
Yeah.
You find out where some journalist gets his morning coffee. You cut in front in line.
No, let me handle this.
And then you're like, I don't know who's behind me in line. I don't have eyes on the back of my head, but I'm going to pay it forward for whoever might be behind me in line. I'm going to cover whatever
they want. Yeah. But here's the quote from the interview that she briefly did with the New York Post. Winnie Greco, the ex-advisor to Mayor Eric Adams, who handed a reporter a cash-stuffed potato chip bag, bizarrely claimed Friday that the controversial packet was her birthday gift and implied that the journalist she slipped the money to wanted to hurt her.
What? Greco said she didn't even know how much cash was in the red envelope found inside the Hers chips bag, which her attorney said contained $300 in cash, because it was my birthday gift. Before, I didn't know how much in my envelope because it's my birthday gift. That's Chinese culture, she said. Somebody give me my birthday gift. I made big mistake. I'm so sorry. Talk to my lawyer.
Talk to my lawyer.
She also doubled down when the Post asked her to clarify if she really meant to say Honan wanted to hurt her. Yes, talk to my lawyer, she said.
Okay.
Now, following all of this, it was announced that a Chinese businessman with direct ties to both Greco and Adams was indicted by the Manhattan District Attorney in an alleged wide-ranging bribery scandal involving Adams' decade-long top lieutenant, Ingrid Lewis Martin. Now, this is a whole separate can of worms, but this guy in particular, Tianji Li, was connected to Eric Adams through Winnie Greco, and Adams thanked both of them directly when he won the mayoral primary back in 2021. Li would go on to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Adams transition.
Apparently in one night.
You know, put it all on black and see what happens. Yeah, what appears to have been a quid pro quo for lucrative city contracts. We will leave links to that coverage below. But yeah, suffice to say, Eric Adams and those around him seem to always be involved in just some level of baseline corruption. And it appears to have started from the very beginning of his campaign, all the way back to what will hopefully be the end of his time as mayor. And before all this, he was a fucking cop.
Yeah.
So it would be hard for me to believe that the corruption started after he stopped being a cop. I feel like there's probably decades worth of corruption that could be uncovered here.
Well, you know, luckily, President Donald Trump pulled the Department of Justice off this case.
I feel like I saw, I might be wrong, but I feel like I saw Winnie Greco or someone else was like, no, you don't understand. Like, when we're talking to like journalists, like Asian-based journalists, we always have to bribe them. Like,
yeah, this is very common.
Yeah, the red envelope thing, like that's how you do business around here. You can't get anyone to talk to you without a red envelope.
Oh, well, you know, maybe that's true.
Maybe.
But I don't think that makes it any better.
I pull up that clip of the New York cop at the Chabad Center. This is America. We don't do things like that.
Yeah.
We don't do that here.
Yeah. Well, all right, look. All news is technically pretty weird these days, but in an attempt to make this the most chaotic episode of Weekly Weird News Dump possible, we're going to senselessly go back and forth between truly bizarre weird news and just regular important weird news with relatively zero transition just to keep you on your toes and to, of course, break the tension a bit. So we're going straight from political corruption in New York to radioactive shrimp in Walmart.
Tangy.
It has been quite a year for radioactive animal news, which is exactly the type of thing you'd expect to hear about in the news during the end times.
Well, at least these radioactive animals are dead.
So here's some more radioactive animal news. Just a few short weeks ago, we were, of course, talking about radioactive wasps that escaped from a South Carolina nuclear weapons development and disposal site. And if that weren't bad enough, now we got to worry about radioactive shrimp that were, at least at some point, available for purchase inside of America's largest grocery store and everything else chain, Walmart. I mean, look, to be honest, it kind of makes sense that the place where most Americans buy their fruits, vegetables, auto parts, and ammunition would also be the place that accidentally sells radioactive shrimp. But hey, I'm still at least a little bit surprised by it.
I mean, they did just drop a Fallout Season 2 trailer, so maybe this was
it's all marketing,
viral
baby.
marketing.
Yeah. But with more on these great value shrimp, here's the Associated Press.
Walmart has recalled frozen raw shrimp sold in 13 states because federal health officials say it could have potential radioactive contamination. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration asked Walmart to pull 3 lots of Great Value brand frozen shrimp from stores after federal officials detected cesium-137, a radioactive isotope, in shipping containers and a sample of breaded shrimp imported from Indonesia. The products could pose a potential health concern for people exposed to low levels of cesium-137 over time, FDA officials said. If you've recently purchased raw frozen shrimp from Walmart that matches this description, throw it away.
I don't think I will.
FDA officials said in a statement.
I'd like to try the radioactive shrimp.
Keeping it as a collector's item.
Uh-huh.
The risk from the recalled shrimp is quite low, said Donald Schaffner, a food safety expert at Rutgers University. Cesium-137 is a byproduct of nuclear reactions, including nuclear bombs, testing, reactor operations, and accidents. It's widespread around the world, with trace amounts found in the environment, including soil, food, and air. The level detected in the frozen breaded shrimp was far lower than FDA intervention levels. However, the agency said that avoiding potentially contaminated products could reduce exposure to low-level radiation that could lead to health problems over time.
So, just a little bit of radiation's fine.
But how did... It's not a little. If it was a little, it sounds like this shit's on fucking everything.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a little more than a little. So I have a lot of questions still.
Well,
Did they set up a fucking shrimp farm inside of a crater? Wow, what a perfect place for a man-made lake.
Yeah.
To start my shrimp operation.
It's already built. They got the hole right there.
It's weird how this crater is just perfectly round.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, get the shrimp.
But like we said, we are bouncing back and forth on this episode. So now let's whip back to some news about our further descent into fascism, because the attacks on President Trump's perceived enemies continues, as the FBI has now raided his own former national security advisor, John Bolton.
No, not my favorite person, John Bolton.
And of course,
no!
We have to preface all of this with, fuck John Bolton, straight to hell.
Yeah.
This walrus-looking motherfucker is one of America's worst war hawks, who not only served as Secretary of State during the Bush administration, but proudly served in the first Trump administration, and among other things, was very instrumental in convincing the then president to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal, while desperately wanting to start launching attacks on that country during his time with Trump.
Yeah, this guy fucking sucks, and I hope he had a bad time. This obviously shouldn't happen, but the fact that it happened to him, I'm like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, Trump eventually fired Bolton after numerous clashes on topics like Trump's friendliness to North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, and the fact that Trump outwardly despised Bolton's bushy mustache.
Yeah, he was right about that.
Yeah, it's true. Trump never liked that. Not from the start, but everyone convinced him to hire him anyway. He said, I do not trust that mustache. I don't think it plays well.
What's he hiding back there?
So after being fired by Trump, Bolton released a book that included experiences during his time in the administration, and eventually started appearing on cable news and in interviews with various outlets where he was critical of the Trump administration and how it handled national security threats. This obviously pissed off Trump, but he couldn't do anything about it because he wasn't president when Bolton really started turning on him.
Yeah, one of the few people who is went from a Trump friend to a Trump enemy. He flanked him on the right. Mm-hmm. Very, very few of those out there.
Yeah.
But he did it. Trump didn't bomb enough people.
That's right. Yes. Trump was like that. Well, there's quotes where Trump, he plays both sides of it, where he's like, actually, I'm a little more aggressive than John Bolton. But then when pressed on it, he would be like, that guy's crazy. He's a nut. He wants to bomb everyone.
Yeah.
So it literally depended on who Trump was talking to.
Yeah. Anyway, we should again reiterate that John Bolton is a total piece of shit. But the fact that we hate him, and hopefully you hate him, doesn't mean that the FBI raiding his home isn't a retaliatory gesture by Trump, who is at this point doing literally whatever he wants before anyone tries to stop him. It's also, it demonstrates to anyone, Republican or Democrat, that if you are critical of the president in any way, he has the power to do this to you. He'll come after you, throw your life into chaos, regardless of whether or not the accusations are legitimate.
Mm-hmm. He will destroy you.
Yeah. First they came for John Bolton, and I laughed and said, fuck that guy.
Great. Yeah.
Good. Mm-hmm. Now, for his part, Trump is denying that he knew about or ordered the raid, doing one of these.
This is the first I'm hearing about this.
But definitely had some choice words for how his former national security advisor, who he called a lowlife, while debuting a new ridiculous red hat that reads, "Trump was right about everything."
This is the dumbest hat I've seen so far.
I've seen this one around. I haven't seen Trump with it, but...
yeah, he's proudly wearing it. There was also a photo that was going around this week of when Volodymyr Zelensky was visiting. Trump is showing off essentially his merch store. Yeah, just like all of his beautiful hats.
It's a meme format. People are photoshopping various things in there.
But in these interviews on Friday, he was wearing the hat. Trump was right about everything, which is ridiculous for the guy who's wearing it to wear that hat.
You never wear your own merch.
Trump was right about everything.
Yeah, we live in clown world, for real. But with more on this Bolton raid, here's the Washington Post. FBI agents on Friday searched the Washington area home and office of former Trump administration National Security Advisor John Bolton as part of an investigation into whether he illegally possessed or shared classified information, according to multiple law enforcement officials familiar with the matter.
Those officials, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the probe, said the investigation focused on allegations the Justice Department previously pursued during President Trump's first term that Bolton divulged classified government material in his 2020 book. Another person familiar with the current inquiry said its scope extended beyond that long-dormant probe to include other, more long-running accusations that Bolton had leaked sensitive materials. Trump, speaking to reporters in Washington, said he had no prior knowledge of the investigation into Bolton or the search warrants agents executed Friday. "I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of lowlife," Trump said. He added later, the search could reveal that Bolton is a very unpatriotic guy. The investigation makes Bolton the latest of Trump's political enemies to find themselves targeted by a Justice Department probe. In recent months, federal investigators have launched criminal investigations into Trump critics, including New York Attorney General Letitia James, Senator Adam Schiff of California, former FBI Director James B. Comey, and ex-CIA Director John Brennan. Justice Department officials did not return requests for comment. However, several top officials appeared to cryptically reference the FBI search on social media. "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission," FBI Director Kash Patel wrote in a post on X while agents were still on the scene. Attorney General Pam Bondi added, "America's safety isn't negotiable. Justice will be pursued, always." Again, fuck John Bolton, but also, yeah, this demonstrates that Trump is willing to destroy anyone, either side of the aisle, if they cross him. And it is very telling that, like, we just got done talking about the numerous corruption scandals that Mayor Eric Adams has been embroiled in. And Trump, because he wants the ability to go into New York and grab fucking undocumented immigrants, just let him go.
Yeah, Eric Adams should be in jail right now.
Yeah, he was just like, actually, let's focus on Mr. Bolton. So,
I mean, maybe he did steal documents. I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I.
Yeah, I mean, every party here sucks. Let them fight.
Sure.
The more time he spends on John Bolton, the less time he spends on harassing other people, I guess. So that's the silver lining to this, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, what it mainly is a fucking gigantic distraction from the Epstein files.
Again, that's, I mean, everything is, but... Hard cut now from the political news to the fucking plague, baby!
It's back again. We're doing the plague.
We're getting out the big long mask.
Everyone's gonna look real cool.
So yeah, that's right. Right here in California, we got plenty to worry about, so why not throw more onto the big pile? Because someone up near Lake Tahoe, which is basically Nevada, if you're asking me, just tested positive for the bubonic plague after a camping trip. We love the resurgence of ancient, mystical, storied diseases from the past, don't we, folks? We're making them. We're going way back.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have RFK Jr. in charge of the nation's health. So really, what is there to worry about?
Nothing at all.
He's probably, you just gotta lick it.
The fact that this
Find me the animal, the host animal, and let me lick it.
The fact that this was even reported at all makes me think that it's just because it happened in California.
Yeah. They didn't have time to...
As you can see, Californians are sick as hell.
Yeah, this happens like bubonic plague does pop up like once every few years.
Yeah.
And like also leprosy. Another like classic disease.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what better time in our nation's history for these ancient diseases to be popping.
Especially when the entire populace has been primed to not believe anything about modern science or potential cures.
Yeah, I heard that bubonic plague was actually good for you, and they don't want you to know that.
That's right.
They want you to avoid it because it actually makes you smarter.
Yep.
Anyway, here's The Guardian with more on all this. A resident of South Lake Tahoe in California has tested positive for the plague, local authorities announced this week. Health officials believe that the person may have been bitten by an infected flea while camping in the South Lake Tahoe area, a popular recreation spot in the California mountains, and said that they are investigating the situation. Plague is naturally present in many parts of California, including higher elevation areas of El Dorado County, said Kyle Fliflet, El Dorado County's acting director of public health. It's important that individuals take precautions for themselves and their pets when outdoors, especially while walking, hiking, and/or camping in areas where wild rodents are present. What precautions could you possibly take to avoid
spray, I guess?
being like bitten by a flea? That's just bad fucking luck.
It's really bad looks. Yeah.
Damn.
Now, thanks to modern medicine, the plague can be treated with very minimal effects to humans who contract the disease and find it early.
I'm just worried, like, what were the initial... Apparently, it makes, like, your balls swell up real bad.
Yeah,
like,
it makes you
armpits,
really sore.
Yeah.
But you know what? Fuck it. I'm sure that if it were to spread in greater numbers, there would be plenty of people out there who swear that their
I have an immune system.
pure immune systems are more than enough. I got a strong. I used to drink from the hose.
Yeah, I still drink from the hose.
I only drink from the hose.
Anytime I get thirsty, which is like once a year, I go out back and I let the hose go straight in my mouth.
When I'm not drinking diet soda pop, I'm drinking from the hose. And when I'm not in the shower, I'm bathing in the swamp.
That's right.
That's right. Just like my hero, RFK Jr. But yeah, strong immune system. That's all you need against the bubonic plague, right?
Yeah.
And look, if they do contract it, you bet your ass no egg-headed doctor's gonna tell me what I'm putting in my body.
No.
Unless it's horse paste or something, then I will believe it.
Oh, well, horses get the plague too.
That's right. Who gets more fleas than horses, folks?
Yeah.
Can't deny it. So just to remind everyone out there, if the plague does go untreated, up to 80% of people who contract it will die from it.
I don't know about that.
And the death
Seems a little bit high.
And the death includes being unable to move out of intense pain, having your body covered in disgusting sacks filled with pus, and then ultimately vomiting blood until you pass out and die within a week of contracting the disease. So, be careful out there. But luckily, with our robust healthcare system and ease of affordable access, people who might contract such a disease would never be scared or financially intimidated to go get themselves checked out by a medical doctor.
No. People in this country, when you notice something even slightly off, you go down to the doctor.
Yeah. And you get it checked out.
It's not a financial worry.
And you believe what that doctor says.
That's
And
right.
you stick to the regimen that he puts you on. And you don't just sit there and go, I'm so achy, I can't even move, but I'll probably power through this.
It would be pretty fitting if the ultimate downfall of the United States
Was the Black Death?
was the bubonic plague. Sure. Fine.
I mean, at this point, it is not without or outside the realm of possibility to see RFK Jr. in a plague costume with the long nose and
He
everything.
probably has one.
All you need to do is stuff the nose with herbs and spices.
That's right. Cloves.
Yeah. It stops the plague from coming into my system.
But back over to what I guess would be considered politics for a second. It looks like Florida's concentration camp, so-called Alligator Alcatraz, has been put on hold for at least 60 days. And it seems as though it would be extremely difficult for them to restart the facility's operations and accept new detainees based on the environmental requirements that the injunction is seeking. Also, the time of year.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but there is a time of year called hurricane season.
Yes.
You may be hearing this for the first time.
In fact, they just missed a gigantic hurricane, which luckily swooped
Yeah.
up along the coast instead of actually making landfall. But there's a couple more behind it. They're all primed and ready to go. So far, looking like the United States, the land of the United States will be spared, although some storm surges along
Well,
the coast.
hopefully, that continues to be the thing that happens with every successive hurricane.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But yeah, we had our doubts, but you got to hand it to the native tribes and environmentalists for this one. They found a way.
They did.
Despite the judge's ruling stating that this was primarily done to protect the environment and not as a result of the, inhumanity taking place in that camp, it still means that the facility is being brought to a halt, and officials have been ordered to dismantle everything within 60 days, according to multiple outlets.
Yeah.
We said at the start that, sure, if the environmental concerns are what gets them to stop, then good. Good for them. We have to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, great job,
The
everyone.
local government might not care about the well-being of the humans who were trapped there, but they're definitely taking the impact on the environment and the concerns of local tribes very seriously. And if the end result of that is the closing down of the so-called Alligator Alcatraz, then that's good.
Yep. Now, obviously, this is going to be appealed by Trump and DeSantis-friendly officials who will claim that this is just another attack on Donald Trump and his mandate of the people to, I guess, do whatever he wants.
If you read the polls, clearly the country is behind this man's actions, particularly on this topic.
Yep. Don't read the phony polls, though. Only read the ones that are put out directly from, I don't know, Stephen Miller, of all people.
Yeah.
But looks like their hands might be tied in the meantime, like in the immediate future until they have to go to court and figure this out. It looks like for now, things might have to stop. Now, this place should have never been open in the first place. Let's get that very clear.
Yeah.
But anything that slows or stops it from operating is, of course, good news. Here's the New York Times with more. A federal judge on Thursday ordered that no more immigrant detainees be sent to a center in the Florida Everglades and that much of the facility be dismantled. The ruling rebuked the state and federal governments for failing to consider potential environmental harms before building the facility known as Alligator Alcatraz. The judge gave both branches of the government 60 days to move out existing detainees and begin to remove fencing, lighting, power generators, and other materials. The order also prohibits any new construction at the site. Judge Kathleen M. Williams of the Federal District Court in Miami found that the state and federal governments had violated a federal law that requires an environmental review before any major federal construction project.
Judge Williams partly granted a preliminary injunction sought by environmentalists and the Miccosukee tribe, whose members live in the area. The detention center is surrounded by protected lands that form part of the sensitive Everglades ecological system. Her ruling is preliminary, as the case will continue to be litigated. The state is expected to ask that the ruling be stayed or kept from taking effect as it pursues its appeal. The Trump administration had argued that a review under the National Environmental Policy Act did not apply because while the center houses federal immigration detainees, it is run by the state. In her ruling, Judge Williams said federal immigration enforcement is the key driver of the detention center's construction. Because it is subject to federal funding, standards, and direction, it is also subject to federal environmental laws, she concluded. And other outlets have pointed out that the center can remain operational in the meantime, but that the removal of all resources and infrastructure would render it useless, effectively making it impossible to run.
Again, I am very skeptical that the state won't just do whatever the hell it wants.
Yeah.
As we've seen out here in just here in LA locally, there's currently a ruling that is on the books that says they can't do these roving raids at car washes, Home Depots, and restaurants. And guess what? All day, every day, they are still happening right here in Los Angeles.
They're doing it, and all the local PDs are helping out.
Yeah.
I don't know why, how many times do we need to be shown that police departments across this country do not have any checks on their power whatsoever, including the mayors and city councils of the cities they represent.
Mayors who are like outwardly being like, well, they can't do this. And still it's happening.
You're the fucking mayor.
I just don't like today. There were multiple Home Depots in this area that were hit again and car washes in this area that were hit again, which is, I know, against the law, but what does it matter anymore? So when I see the Alligator Alcatraz thing and I know who the governor of Florida is, it makes me very skeptical to think that anything is going to change. In fact, like they might look at this and go, all right, well, we're going to pull out all that infrastructure that, actually keeps these people safe and secure. And now it's your fault if anything happens.
Yeah.
So anyways, maybe conservatives won't care about their favorite concentration camp being shut down because they're currently busy being very steaming mad about their favorite country cooking restaurant changing its logo.
And its name. Now it's Honky Barrel.
But yeah, as people have pointed out online, they have removed both the cracker and the barrel from the original design.
I, for some reason, had never actually seen the logo.
It's just an old white man sitting next to a barrel.
Literally a cracker and a barrel. Like, I didn't realize that. I'd seen the text. I did not know they literally had a cracker and a barrel.
Well,
right next
now
to the
you
Cracker
can be
Barrel.
on the front lines of the Mandela effect for this because you never even noticed that there was a man in a barrel there, much
Yeah.
like the Fruit of the Loom logo never had the cornucopia in it or some such.
Yeah, and the Toucan Sam never wore sunglasses.
Yeah, or whatever else there is. But yeah, Elliot is on the forefront of thinking that this logo was always the logo.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No,
And they never had an old country store attached
I mean,
to
the
the
old
restaurant.
logo is crazy. There's so many layers to how crazy it is that I never noticed before. Like, just like there's a shape around it that's like, what is that? It's like not a circle. It's got some weird like corners and edges to it.
You know what? It doesn't matter because it was it was designed by a human being that said, you know what? This is going to work for this rustic old restaurant serving up Southern hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right. Cracker Barrel, which is actually a reference to a barrel of crackers, the edible salted snack, not the one Elliot's thinking of.
I don't think so.
This was a barrel that people in the olden days would hang out near in an old country store, much like an old-timey water cooler. Just eating those crackers.
How many crackers can you eat?
A barrel full.
I guess so.
Anyways, the restaurant has always had old Southern vibes with the aesthetics of an Appalachian shack, complete with an actual country store filled with knickknacks, candies, and the occasional Christian-themed fare.
Lots of wicker furniture. Take home a chair.
Yeah, sure. Not exactly sure why right-wingers are so danged upset about this logo change, because all they did was remove the guy sitting next to the barrel. But apparently that alone means the company has gone woke. And look, I might even be inclined to agree that the new logo is lifeless and dull, because
it is.
every modern aesthetic change across all types of businesses, entertainment brands, and even modern housing the goal seems to make everything as boring as humanly
Yeah,
possible.
I mean, the old logo gave you a lot of like clues as to what you're getting at a Cracker Barrel. The new logo tells you fucking nothing.
Absolutely nothing. You could envision what the restaurant looked like by seeing that logo on a highway sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, the overreaction from the right is very telling, because instead of focusing their ire on the real enemy here, private equity groups,
Oh no.
they are using this as yet another example of the woke infecting America, with the Trump family, particularly Donald Trump Jr., a person who has never probably set foot in this fucking
Absolutely
restaurant,
fucking not.
chiming in to announce his displeasure. Donald Trump Jr. posted on X Wednesday night, "What the fuck is wrong with Cracker Barrel?" Trump Jr. made his post in response to another user who blamed Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Fels-Massino, probably because it's a woman,
And she's Italian about it.
stating that she, quote, scrapped a beloved American aesthetic and replaced it with sterile, soulless branding, while also criticizing the company for its diversity, equity, and inclusion commitments. Forbes added that many popular right-wing X accounts united against Cracker Barrel, including End Wokeness, an account with nearly 4 million followers that frequently torches brands for going woke.
When I go down to the Cracker Barrel, I expect to be dining at a restaurant that is fucking racist as hell.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Cracker Barrel was a fucking bigoted restaurant for a long time,
Yeah.
on the same level as probably worse than Chick-fil-A, but there were some scandals, specifically in the 90s and 2000s. But the posts, Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Massino should face charges for this crime against humanity.
Calm down.
End Wokeness posted Wednesday night, garnering 50,000 likes. Country singer John Rich, a staunch supporter of President Trump,
walk into the room, passing out $100 bills.
said on X Wednesday night, "Will you go to Cracker Barrel now that it's going woke? This could be a Bud Light moment in the making."
No! What? At least with the Bud Light thing, there was logic to it. It was
bad logic,
They
but-
hate trans people, and there was a trans person who received a fucking branded partnership deal on TikTok.
Yeah.
There you can at least follow a logical sort of thread. This is just a logo changing.
But it's another, it's ruining an American classic. And if it wasn't for the
Graphic
fact-
design is woke.
That's the problem. If it wasn't about if it wasn't this weird obsession with it somehow being a woke decision,
Yeah.
then it's look, the fucking logo sucks. That's what happens when you have a publicly traded company with investors that are demanding returns at a time of economic downturn that has also been, as we're going to point out, had an activist investor from a holding group, a fucking private equity group that has been budging its way into Cracker Barrel and finally getting some control of the brand within the past couple of years, saying, oh, I know what can fix things.
Yeah.
It's always the worst fucking idea.
When HBO Max changed its name to Max, that was woke.
Yeah.
When they changed it back to HBO Max,
Even more woke.
That was somehow even more woke.
Yeah.
I can't explain why. Mm-hmm. Anyway, in reality, this and other boring rebrandings are at least, again, the result of private equity buying up once beloved brands and thinking that they can churn even more money out of them by making drastic changes that seem incredibly stupid to normal people, like changing the logo.
We've done it, everyone. Surely this will be the thing that saves Cracker Barrel.
We did it. But yeah, who cares? People should be critical of the company for their history of discrimination in the workplace, not the logo. But it looks as though this latest change is because of the company's shareholders being upset at returns. And after a protracted fight with an activist investor from a private equity group, the company finally allowed one of their reps onto the board of directors a few years back. The result, as with every other company that is desperate for quick returns, is an abrupt change to what made the company attractive to consumers in the first place. Good old-fashioned Southern cooking for customers who almost certainly despise the people that invented and perfected those delicious recipes.
Yeah.
Now it's just going to be a polished and clean and lifeless restaurant with barely any identity, with a reduced menu that will ultimately fail anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to bleed it dry. It was an extremely quick lesson this time around because after debuting the new logo, the value of the company sank by well over $100 million.
Oh, not so smart.
Target is facing a similar downfall after turning their backs on a customer base that they spent decades cultivating. And now Cracker Barrel is turning their backs on their customer base. Old white people who like sitting in rocking chairs before they're served a meal where half the plate is fried next to some vintage shit nailed to the walls, while their grandkids run rampant through the old country store trying to buy yo-yos, blankets, Woolly Willy sets, candy, and Bibles.
Mm-hmm. It's a real shame. Anyways, since that's a pretty good distraction for the right, I guess it's time to release more information on those old Epstein files. And on Friday of this week, the Department of Justice released the transcripts of their recent interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, which really doesn't add much to the argument around President Donald Trump being named in the files or take anything away from it. It's exactly what it sounds like.
It's worthless.
The DOJ, controlled by Trump, with a Trump-friendly fucking attorney general, deputy attorney general, asking very specific questions and getting specific answers from a person who desperately wants to get out of jail. And who, upon giving these answers, was transferred to a club-fed type prison.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's literally already in prison, has nothing else to lose, and then all of a sudden is like, hey, we got to ask you some more questions. I don't know, could I maybe get a presidential pardon for answering these in a way that someone might want to hear? But even with the knowledge that she is an untrustworthy source that will do or say anything to get herself out from behind bars, her interviews with Todd Blanche still didn't do much to totally exonerate Trump. She just indicates, like we've said before, that she personally didn't see or recall seeing Trump do anything inappropriate.
Which, again, she literally said that about Jeffrey Epstein in her trial.
Yeah, so...
She was lying then.
Yeah.
Could she be lying now?
And she also said that she was only in his presence, Trump's presence, a handful of times.
Each time photographed somehow.
Mm-hmm. And as we're all aware, Trump and Epstein, despite, let's say she only hung out with Trump the times that they were photographed together, even if she was only there for those times, Trump and Epstein had been friends for over a decade and were photographed and filmed together countless times. Regardless, here's The Guardian with a summary of the transcripts, and all of the full stuff will be linked in the description below.
Maxwell said that she never saw Donald Trump receive a massage. She also said that she never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way, adding that whenever she saw the president, he was a gentleman in all respects. One notable point is that Maxwell denied ever recruiting masseuses from Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. I've never recruited a masseuse from Mar-a-Lago for that, as far as I remember. I can't ever recollect doing that, she told Blanche.
Which is also fucking odd because Trump's the one that brought that up.
Like, very recently.
Yeah, and after it had already been explained away previously by his administration as being like through a bad real estate
He's given
deal.
like 3 or 4 different excuses, but the most recent one is, he stole one of my whores.
Yeah.
One of my teenage whores.
And then she's like, well, no, that actually didn't happen.
I don't know how they met, and I don't know how they became friends. I certainly saw them together, and I remember the few times I observed them together, but they were friendly. I mean, they seemed friendly, she said. Maxwell also did not recall former U.S. President Bill Clinton receiving a massage while traveling with Epstein. Maxwell said she recruited a number of masseuses for Epstein, but never checked their age or credentials. She added that throughout her time with Epstein, she never heard any examples of sexually inappropriate contact between Epstein's guests and in-house masseuses. Despite her claims that Epstein did not extort anyone, Maxwell said she did not believe that Epstein died by suicide. She chalked that up to mismanagement at the Bureau of Prisons.
So altogether, a very fucking confusing set of transcripts where she not only attempts to exonerate the president, but again tries to exonerate Jeffrey Epstein and anyone else involved.
I'm just surprised she stuck up for Bill Clinton too.
Yeah, that is odd, but you probably won't see that bit on Fox News.
Yeah.
Because literally, she kind of said the same
Fully
thing.
exonerated.
She said the same thing about Donald Trump and Bill Clinton in the interview.
Fully exonerated.
You see that, Hill? You see that?
You see that?
I didn't get a massage from that woman.
Can I sleep in the bedroom again?
For the love of God.
For the first time in 20 years?
Again, I don't give a fuck about Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
If he did something wrong, he should be exposed for it.
Yeah. I'm not sentimental about the guy who was president when I was fucking 8 years old.
I'm just not inclined to believe the woman who fucking lied during her trial and continues to lie now so that she can get out of fucking prison. Instead, you know what they should do? Release the fucking evidence and the files.
Yeah.
The things that can't tell a story because they are facts.
I heard they got a lot of them.
And they do. But remains to be seen if we're ever going to see those. Anyways, we don't have a sponsor on this week's episode because you're the sponsor. Make sure to hit the join button, become a paid member of this channel for as low as $5 a month. If you think you get that much entertainment out of us, please pay it forward, just like Eric Adams would hand someone a bag full of cash.
Where's my red envelope?
Where's my sour cream and onion chips? Hit the join button or the thank button if you want to receive all the praise down below in the chat.
Every button, not the dislike button.
Don't do that one. Hit the like button. We'll tell you right now. Anyways, time to get into the weirdest, wildest headlines from around the world this week, starting with...
The new dating term, shrekking, sounds innocent. It's not what you think. First, this headline's bonkers because no, it doesn't sound innocent, and it's not what you think.
The first thing
I don't know what it could mean. I haven't the slightest fucking clue what it could mean.
Yeah, this headline makes a lot of presumptions.
Oh, shrekking, I'm sure that's something totally normal.
No, it sounds disgusting, whatever it is. In fact, it sounds like some kind of bizarre sexual act that people would be arrested for.
And the actual meaning behind it is actually less weird than what I was picturing when I had no idea.
It's still bad, but less weird than what I thought.
It's not only bad, it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. And so it's basically the idea of
you're dating down.
Yeah, you be like Fiona in Shrek and you date a real uggo and he'll treat you better because he'll feel so lucky to be in your presence.
And then you'll eventually get used to how they look and actually find them attractive because of the other things.
For starters, I would say, for anyone looking for relationship advice, here's one from me. Here's a free one. You should be attracted to the people you're dating.
Yes, that would be a very big step forward.
If you're not attracted to the person you're dating, it's probably not gonna fucking work.
It also
That's a pretty serious issue.
I would go a step further and say I wouldn't take any dating advice from anyone labeling something as shrekking.
Yeah.
And also, it's very clearly it's a very weird position to put another human being with feelings and emotions in, where you are intentionally dating them because you find them unattractive and you feel that will give you the upper hand in the relationship and that they will treat you better because they think that you're out of their league.
Yeah, and a big reason this won't work is a lot of people think they are
more attractive than they are.
A lot of people think they're more attractive than they actually are. They're not going to get the memo. It's not going to fucking work. Stop being fucking weird.
The ugliest person you know is sitting on a dating app in the middle of the night hitting no multiple times. Ooh, no, never.
Yeah. Stop the shrekking.
Stop the shrekking. Outkast's Big Boy announces limited edition washing machines that play so fresh, so clean after each cycle.
Does it play actual MP3 or does it do a little jingle? I love my washing machine.
The jingle's great. Maybe it does do that. I would feel as though if they are doing the full endorsement from Big Boy, that they would probably get the clip, but maybe it is just the jingle.
And you can't stop it. It plays the entire
the
song.
whole thing. Yeah, every time. Yeah, and even if you go turn the washer off, it's still already set to keep playing.
You unplug it from the wall, somehow it's still playing. It's
And
got battery backup specifically for that.
The best part is if it's anything like my dryer, you're gonna need to run 2 cycles. So you're gonna have to hear the song multiple times.
You don't what? Why you gotta run 2 cycles?
I'm worried about my clothes shrinking, so I put it on like a low setting, tumble dry.
Well, the dryer, the dryer takes fucking forever.
Yeah.
But the quick wash, my quick wash works great.
Yeah, the wash is fine.
Yeah.
So-
But it plays a little song for me, and my oven plays a little song for me.
But they got songs on everything.
I hate everything that's happened in tech for the last decade, except for this one thing: making my appliances sing to me.
Yeah, I love
when
the
something
jingles.
is ready.
That's right. It is funny though, is when I was at that musical in New York, because basically if you just walk by someone that has a Ring camera, it does that.
You are being recorded.
No, it does
Hello.
the chime like bing, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
And so the same alert is on someone's phone when someone goes by that. And in the middle of the fucking musical in New York, I swear to God, like this woman's phone went off 3 times, the fucking Ring chimes.
You got to turn it off.
Yeah. Just like, and it's probably someone just delivering a fucking Amazon box or delivering the mail or something like that, or her fucking dog walks in front of it and she's ruining the show for everyone. These boomers.
It's not almost as bad as the fact that it was a Conor O'Malley show is like the perfect for it, but an Amber Alert went out in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen where like 300 people's phones all start going off, not even at the same time. Like some of them minutes apart.
Yeah, they get data differently.
And even if your phone's on silent, it'll do it. And it was for Conor O'Malley, it's like, is this part of the show? Like, is he piping this in?
Yeah.
No, it just happened to happen that way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that's definitely happened because, I mean, we got an Amber Alert here like the other day. So if anyone was out at a event where you're supposed to be quiet, that would certainly make things weird. But at least in that scenario, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can explain it.
But I get why they make people put their phones in the Faraday bags.
Yeah. Anyways, I wish this was something you could just download if you already own a washer and it's like, okay, look, LG or Samsung, they got the rights.
Yeah.
Because like, remember how Waze you'd be able to like get like Samuel L. Jackson's voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should do that for washing.
Bitch.
You should be able to download MP3 jingles to your washing machine.
You should.
Yeah.
Stunning survival story. Police rescue California man trapped behind waterfall for 2 days.
What was he looking for, Elliot? The treasure chest behind the waterfall.
No.
That's right. He was a gamer, folks. And he said, hold on.
Oh, I see a waterfall with some space behind it.
Yeah,
That must be...
has to be some loot there.
Yeah, but
No,
there wasn't. He just
Instead,
got
he was rappelling down and got like knocked behind the waterfall and then like held back there by the water.
Yeah, there was like... I was like, wait, waterfall? It was Northern California, obviously.
Well, it was central. It was Sequoia area.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, the Kern River. So, but yeah, there was no fucking waterfall down here, especially not this time of year. But yeah, I guess it was flowing. It was flowing so hard that he got stuck. He couldn't rappel back around it.
Yeah.
So he was just stuck back there for days. Probably getting very moist. Probably getting pruny.
Also, yeah, it would be traumatizing because you're stuck, but also
Loud.
yeah, it would be so loud. Just water crashing constantly would drive you insane.
Torture.
Yeah. And, I hate on drones a lot. They're fucking annoying. But a drone did save this guy. They were able to fly a drone on the backside of this waterfall. And after finding a chest full of gold and diamonds, they did spot the climber. They were able to rescue him, so that's good. Wild pigs turn neon blue in California, triggering warnings. Everything bad is happening to this state.
I'd say that's bad.
Yeah.
That's not what you want your wild pig looking like.
And it is not, as they point out in the article, this is not just like a light blue or a shade of blue where they're like, I don't know, kind of doesn't look good. This is bright, vivid blue.
Have the pigs been drinking that silver shit that cranks like drinking that turns your skin blue if you have too much colloidal silver?
It's actually because of all of the rodent side, all of the like rat poison.
Why does it turn blue?
I don't know the chemical reaction, but the pigs are getting it on their skin and it is turning their inside flesh blue. So don't eat those wild pigs.
Yeah, rat poison's like a big fucking problem, actually.
Yeah.
One of my dogs when I was a kid, like, almost died from like, we don't know how it happened, but ate a little bit of rat poison and just like,
Well, yeah, especially like
You
walking
can't
around
tell,
the
you're
city,
just
people
like-
will just fucking put it anywhere.
yeah, it's and there was like a few weeks ago, it was really fucking sad. I saw it next door, like up in Glendale or something, just like someone's front yard, like 4 or 5 dead coyotes.
Yeah.
that had all gotten into like, they'd probably eaten a poisoned rat or something,
Yeah.
and all just like dropped dead.
Ugh.
And of course, there's people in the comments being like, "Good, there shouldn't be coyotes here
No,
in an
shut
urban
up.
environment." It's like,
It's always so infuriating when someone posts,
why are there animals in my urban environment?
everyone beware, I saw one coyote tonight. It's like, okay, yeah, you live in fucking Southern California. They're everywhere. Like, oh no, I saw, like, I don't like skunks, but I accept that they are a part of living here. Yeah.
No,
anyways.
we should genocide the skunks though.
That's true.
The world's oldest chicken keeps surviving everything life throws at her.
How old do you think the chicken is?
Oh my god. I don't know, 12?
Yeah, you're close, 14. And it
Okay.
apparently has survived multiple attacks from like rodents and other hens. And still, despite it all, and it also has a limp, and despite it all, it survives. So it's
Why are they
now the
keeping
world's
it around?
oldest, because now you can't kill the world's oldest chicken. You got to see how long it goes.
I mean, at that
It
point,
drinks one Dr. Pepper a day.
But like, she wasn't always the world's oldest chicken.
Well, it's a real
They just
tough.
like forget to kill her.
It's a real tough bird. So
Yeah.
they just kind of kept it around for good luck, I guess.
I guess.
It survived multiple attacks. So at that point, you got to be like, all right, well, let's see how long this thing
Let's
lasts.
clone this chicken. Mm-hmm. Vegan firefighters' first blaze involves 40,000 pounds of ribeye steaks. I bet they were triggered. I'm not going to put that fire out. It smells like meat.
No, this was a normal person who just said, well, it was certainly an odd first fire case.
No, I bet they were fucking triggered.
Yeah, they were definitely, the woke mafia has
Yeah.
gotten to the fire
Yeah,
department.
this is what happens when you hire woke firefighters.
In fact, they probably didn't put it out.
yeah, they
said,
probably
let
said,
it burn.
good, burn the meat. Burn all the people who eat it too.
Uh-huh. No, in fact, this is like a probationary firefighter in a small town.
Probably have blue hair.
And it was like a semi truck that caught fire that was hauling ribeyes, and they just put it out.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
But yeah, it's a lot. I bet it smelled good though. Not for him.
Probably, I don't know. Yeah, probably.
For a little bit. It did.
Yeah.
And then it smelled real bad.
Burning car doesn't smell good, but burning meat, 40,000 pounds of it,
Sure.
probably balances out.
Yeah. White House says slavery is being taught wrong. Should not be so negative. And Trump said this directly in a Truth Social post, and also is going after the Smithsonian for having artifacts, displays, and educational pamphlets and discussions that include things that are, quote, negative against the United States of America, which in a lot of cases are just educating the basic facts of the very checkered past of this country.
How, like, yeah, just explaining the basic straight facts of slavery. I'm sorry, it's fucking negative.
Yeah, it
it's
was really-
like, it's
there's
one of
been
the
some-
worst things that's ever happened in human history.
Yeah, terrible things have happened to this country, and
It's a truly evil thing that should, to this day, bring great shame to everyone
Yes.
in this country.
And yeah, as people have pointed out, like, this is the same administration who fucking screamed about pulling down the statues of Southern Civil War.
Yeah, well, they were just small beans. Like, they love states' rights.
Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah, like
But taking things out of Smithsonian museums or like banning people from talking about certain subjects is definitely not erasing history.
this is already absurd too, because the way slavery has been taught in this country is completely fucking inadequate. And in like half the states in this country, you will read in your textbook that like, oh, just states' rights, whatever the fuck that means. Like, you do not get an accurate picture of the reasons for the Civil War, nor do you get anything detailed about just how horrific slavery and the slave trade were on like a personal basis for anyone involved.
Yes.
It's we're not being negative enough, I would say.
Well, that's all got to change because it makes America look bad.
I guess so.
Dr. Phil sued by Christian broadcaster for reprehensible conduct in $500 million deal. Years-long fraudulent scheme.
This is like Dr. Phil versus the Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Yeah,
let them fight.
Again, there's I stand by and watch as both of these losers go at each other.
He I didn't even realize this. He started he broke his deal with CBS, his decades-long contract, so he could start his own anti-woke media company a year ago, and it's already bankrupt. It's already a failure.
Yeah, and at the time he was like, the reason for this fraud is that he basically pitched this to the Christian broadcaster as well, I don't know, CBS is offering me a whole lot, which wasn't true at all.
Yeah, he just straight up lied about.
He lied about how much they were offering him.
Lied about his viewership numbers. He lied about fucking everything.
And they bought it. They bought it hook, line, and sinker.
It should be very easy to prove in court that I don't know. What an idiot. What a piece of shit.
Much like that fraud that was happening with YouTube numbers with that media company that was a big scandal a year ago. All it takes is picking up the phone and being like, "Hey, hello, anyone at CBS? What's up with Dr. Phil? Are you guys actively courting him?"
Rich people are fucking stupid. They are way too trusting.
Well, and I guess part of it was you got to act now because I got this contract with CBS on my desk.
You're going to want to have a seat.
If you want a seat at the table, you need to start signing my contract.
You better cash me outside before I re-sign with CBS.
What a piece of shit. I hope they arrest him, and I hope they film it.
I hope that this stupid financial malfeasance brings down the Christian broadcast.
Yeah, I hope he gets sent to jail and they shave that mustache off and then they glue it to his forehead.
It's surprising that Trump trusts Dr. Phil considering the size of that mustache.
Yeah, Dr. Phil's mustache is a little more reasonable.
And Dr. Phil famously made the green M&M unsexy.
He did. He really did. MAGA rep says he talked to dead people who voted in 2020.
And I spoke to some of those people.
Yeah, there were many, many dead people who voted in 2020, and I talked to a bunch of them, and they were like, "Whoa,
I did it.
I didn't vote. I'm dead.
I couldn't have done it." Whoa. Yeah, I believe he just misspoke, but it is very funny that the transcript version of this is that he spoke to dead people about them having their votes illegally cast.
Maybe he did.
Yeah,
maybe
could be. Got the Ouija board out, and they said, "Yes."
Yeah.
That's how it happened. Oh.
Yes, I did vote, and for the next election, I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote.
And final headline, government staffing cuts have fueled an ant smuggling boom.
There's a hobby for everyone.
And this one apparently it seems like a very interesting hobby for a lot of young folks that is now being exploited by a bunch of essentially deregulation because nobody is able to actually regulate this very specific type of black market trade.
Yeah, it's basically...
So people, the underground trade is just booming right now.
It's a bunch of Joe Exotics who deal with ants, insect Joe Exotics, who are competing with each other and
a bunch of people who are
each other over,
getting into apparently that are getting into the hobby or that are becoming enthusiasts in ant farm collecting hobbies don't understand that some of the ants are you can't just do that. You can't just order specific ants from certain areas.
It sounds like there's not a lot of there are a lot of invasive ant species that you don't want establishing here in the U.S., but no one's buying ants to do that. They're buying them to put them in these $10,000 fucking ant farms, so they can watch them do their thing. Now that half the workforce has been gutted at the USDA, who actually looks into these things, I guess it's buck wild. Yeah, it's open season in the ant world.
Yeah, big problem.
If you've ever wanted to import some illegal ants, now's the time.
Yeah.
And even in the article, they're like, eBay explicitly forbids selling ants, but we found a bunch of ants on there. You can buy ants on eBay if you know where to look.
That's right. Anyways, that's it for this week's very long episode of Weekly Weird News. We will be back next week with more episodes. But in the meantime, we hope you have a good weekend and make sure that you like the video. Remember that it's not sponsored, so if you want to click the join button, it really helps us out. We would please really appreciate it. And leave a comment, reply to a comment, and watch our other videos over here. We will see you soon. Bye.